Welcome to the Alcohol Free Life podcast, brought to you by thesoberclub.com. I'm Genuinely Grace. This is for you if you've quit the booze or you'd like to, or maybe you're just sober curious. I'll bring you tips and motivation without any judgment, and there'll be inspiration from experts, quit-lit authors, and sober heroes. Hi, and welcome to the podcast. I hope you are well and everything's going good. It's been an interesting week in our Sober Club community. There's been, I don't know, it seems to go in waves. Lots of people are, struggling really right now and kind of going, oh God, I was doing really well and I ditched the booze and I was 2 months in, or I was this amount of time in, and suddenly, it's always that word suddenly. I found myself picking up a drink again. You know, so many messages like that, and you know, there's no judgment because trust me, I have been there, and so have all of our members. So we totally get it. We totally get it. But we have to just keep sharing the same little nuggets of wisdom, you know, which is if you're early days, if you're doing this thing, if you're quitting alcohol, then pat yourself on the back. But there's a few things you need to get in place. You really do. When I think back to all the years that I gave this a try, you know, I didn't really commit. Number one, I just kind of vaguely hoped that I could stop. As I say in my TED talk, in the TED talk Sobriety Rocks Who Knew, I mentioned there that each day I would kind of wake up having had a pretty sleepless night. I'd make a little deal with God. Look, if I don't drink tonight, will you make sure I don't have a hangover? And God usually kept his side of the bargain. I didn't really have hangovers. Such was my tolerance. But, you know, I made that little commitment. I won't drink today. And then by 6 o'clock, sun was over the yard arm, you know, particularly with the lovely weather we've had. And then the little voice in my head said, oh, come on, you know, it'd be silly not to, really, wouldn't it? You can just have one. And well, what do you mean you're not drinking? And it would all start again. So we know that just making this little commitment in our head is not enough. So if you're serious about quitting alcohol, and why would you not be? If you're listening to this podcast, I'm guessing it's because either you're already sober, and thank you for listening, because the inspiration continues with, you know, living your best life, or you've been thinking about quitting, or your early days, in which case make this, you know, give this the priority in your life that it deserves, because it's the most important thing you'll ever do, ever, for your health and well-being. There's nothing more important than this, because from this place you can do everything else. From, you know, once you've quit alcohol, then you can become much more resilient to tackle whatever else might be going on in your life. So if this is a thing for you, do it now. So make your commitment, but then put stuff in place. Get your sober toolkit ready. Put all the things in place that, you know, if you've listened to this podcast, you know are needed. Grab a copy of my book, Happy, Healthy, Sober, or there are many other books out there. Join us in the Sober Club or wherever you want to go. Obviously, I'd say the Sober Club because the connection's amazing. It's non-judgmental. There is so much inspiration, amazing well-being content. We've got a great video called The First 30 Days, as well as an online course called Get the Buzz Without the Booze. What I'm really trying to say is, if you're serious about this, you have to put a little bit of work in. Thankfully, you know, it's not too arduous. It's stuff that in an ideal world you'd be doing anyway, you know, self-care, eating properly, those kind of things, you know. But there's a few things you do need to do. You do need to put some prep in if you're doing this, but it's so worth it. Just make that commitment, give it a proper go, get connected, do all the pieces, and yeah, thank me later. Seriously. There's nothing better, I swear. So what I want to tell you about is a very exciting festival that I'm part of on the 8th to 10th of August. It's an amazing new festival called the Wellness Way Festival, with Barbara O'Neill, no less, headlining. I'm sure most of you are aware of Barbara O'Neill. Pretty incredible work that she does. There's a whole bunch of amazing speakers at this event. You might have heard me chatting to Philly J. Lay. I did an interview with Philly J. Lay about it a few weeks ago. And it's going to be an amazing event. It's at Wasing Woods, which, if you haven't been there, it's so beautiful. It's hard to believe that it's in Berkshire that's as close to London as it is, because it's the most incredible place, Wasing Estate. And so it's you can camp there. It's a festival. I'm going to be speaking on the Saturday the 9th, all about rocking an alcohol-free life. But because of the kind of festival it is, I'm pretty sure I'll end up talking about all things holistic living, actually. So you can get a discount on the tickets if you use my code. I'll put it in the show notes, but I'll tell you too. It's Janie Lee Grace 15. So obviously that tells you all you need to know. It's my name in capitals, Janie Lee Grace 15. So Janie Lee Grace 15, and then you get 15% off weekend tickets. And the website to go to is thewellnesswayfestival.com, thewellnesswayfestival.com. But I'll put the link in the show notes. You can also find it on the Sober Club website. It's going to be an amazing event. They've got some fantastic speakers alongside Barbara O'Neill. There's also Patrick Holford, who I've interviewed over the years several times. Dr. Jenny Goodman, she's got an incredible book. I'm hoping to interview Dr. Jenny Goodman at some point. Philly J. Lay, of course, is speaking. There are panels. There's just so much there. And of course, there's going to be yoga and all sorts of amazing stuff on offer. And a cacao ceremony led by none other than Liam Browne of Full Cacao fame. And, I'm sure that you saw Liam on the Dragon's Den some time ago. You may have heard him interviewed on this podcast. And I thought, great opportunity to give you another listen to that interview. If you've ever thought, oh yeah, I've heard about people drinking, chocolate, and I've heard about ceremonial cacao, or even just that you fancy having some, dark chocolate, let's hear a bit more about it. So I thought it'd be great to give you another opportunity to hear about raw cacao and full cacao which is the brand that's run by Liam. So I'm going to give you another chance to hear that interview. But just a reminder then, I'll put in the show notes where you can grab your tickets. Also, on another note, I'm doing a book festival, Chiswick Book Festival in September the 13th. So looking forward to that. And if anyone is interested in the Platinum Awards that I run, if you have a natural brand, or you're a wellbeing author or a coach or a practitioner, then it's the last few weeks to get your entries in, and we'll be having a pop-up shop in September in London. So just message me if you want more information on that. If you're not sure what I'm talking about, feel free just to drop me a message. Also, we're still booking people for our next Sober Coach training. That starts in October. There's a few spaces left. So if you have been thinking about that, then get in touch. We can have a chat. Absolutely no salesy pressure. We'll just have a chat and we'll see if it's right for you. Well, I'm just so delighted to get to chat to Liam Browne. Liam, what a story. What an amazing thing you've got going down. I love it all. I really do. Where do we start? Well, hello, first of all. How are you?
Hi, thank you for having me. Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
Great. Yeah, I'm really good. Thank you. So lots of people will have seen you on Dragon's Den. That would have catapulted you to fame, eh? I'm guessing.
Well, people have recognised me, but yeah, I don't know about to fame.
Yeah, as seen on TV, always a good line. But your story is just so fascinating, and I've known about the stuff you do for a long time, and I absolutely, I'm such a massive fan of cacao, but I really, really want to know all the in stuff, all the important stuff about ceremonial cacao and all of that stuff. So we're going to talk about all of that. But shall we just go right back in time? Because I know you've got your own sort of really rock bottom story, really, haven't you? In fact, you even use the phrase dealer to healer, from your book. So can you take us right back and tell us a bit about your early days?
Just kind of normal dysfunctional upbringing.
Normal and dysfunctional.
And normal dysfunctional. Dysfunctional is normal, unfortunately, in our world, which hopefully will change as consciousness expands and evolves. So yeah, basically, around domestic violence, ended up living in a battered wives institute with my mum when I was a kid. Then, her getting into other relationships and that, that difficulty of being a stepchild and with with difficult human beings and people who've not worked on themselves or not opened their hearts and things like that. So just challenging, and I was challenging. I was a little shit as well, but it's kind of obviously going to happen when you've been around those kind of circumstances and volatile families and people at war, fighting and violence everywhere that you go. So yeah, and then just grew up playing football, started drinking. Drinking is the first drug. Don't forget
it
that.
really is, isn't it?
You normal people who think cannabis will lead to harder drugs. What was the first one? Everybody took alcohol.
Yeah. And it's a case. It's like a rite of passage, isn't it? It's like if you don't drink it, it's something really odd.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like if your granddad pushed a line of coke in front of you when you was 18.
Exactly that.
Be like actually like astonished what's going on. But if you pushed a shot or a pint. But to me, there's the same thing, either it's all acceptable or none of it's acceptable. You know what I mean? So my journey with drink and drugs and partying and selling drugs and moving to London and partying a lot, and then just kind of like it getting a little bit too much. My mum dying and then really sort of like getting arrested, started the 12 steps. Even though I didn't really think I was an addict, but I really resonated with a lot of things in the rooms that I was going to.
What age were you when you managed to get free?
It was like 30,
right, okay.
31 maybe.
Okay. And can I just ask, was your mum also caught up in the alcohol trap?
No, my mum didn't drink. I never saw my mum. I saw my mum drink alcohol once.
Wow.
My mum was an amazing human being, but she, so we'd be at parties and people like, your mum's pissed out of her head, mate, because she'd be a lunatic. But she never drank. She had big 55s. That's what she had. I think she drank when she was really young, like before she had me. But she never drank I'd never seen her other than one New Year's Eve. I saw her a little bit tipsy because she had a glass of champagne or something, but she'd go out and she'd just drink orange juice.
Yeah. And what was the tipping point for you? You say it got too much. What was the point at which you decided, you know what, it's enough? I
think it was getting arrested, thinking I was going to go to prison for a while and just kind of like addressing the situation. And obviously my mum being dead, it was, since the moment that she died, I always thought that when she was alive and she was in Manchester and I was in London, she couldn't see what I was up to. And then when she died, I would kind of felt this presence, like, just observing what I was doing. So I was trying to like improve my behaviors, but then the depression and everything got so much that I was reaching out to old things that I thought made me happy, which was selling drugs, going out partying. Yeah. And, I quickly realized those weren't the things that I wanted to really be doing anymore. Sure. And then that arrest kind of sent me on that journey of the 12 steps, and just like, the 12 steps are a wonderful, wonderful, program that I think everybody should have to do it, because even if you're not an addict, there'll be something in there that will improve and change your life in a positive way. It's very Buddhist, it's very cognitive process, and even as a yoga teacher now, I reference back to the 12 steps a lot because there's a lot of crossover between the 12 steps, the yamas and niyamas, yogic philosophy, Buddhist philosophy. So it's picking things from those things and just going, actually, if you want to do some work on yourself, do the 12 steps. Oh, I'm not an addict. So what? Do the 12 steps. Find a program that is not for addicts, or go to one and pretend to be an addict. Do you know what I mean? You will get a lot from it. Yeah. Because it just allows you to realize you are the only problem in your life. There's no other problems other than you.
Absolutely. Looking within.
Or you can't have any problems. Yeah. It's up to you.
So what was the first step for you in terms of spirituality? Was it yoga first for you as the kind of way in?
It was the same. I think it was the 12 steps as well. It was that getting down on my knees, praying to God, and that was kind of like the catalyst of it. And then by the end of that year, when I went to India for the first time, that's when all the sort of yoga and stuff started to come in, because I started doing, I went to counselling during that maybe going to prison period, and she was like, oh, you need to go do some meditation, go to the Buddhist centres. So I started kind of like dipping my toe in them sort of arenas, and just finding that I was getting a lot from it. And then it was it was the yoga and practicing yoga and really going into like dark nights of the soul and addressing my behaviors and the way that I was, and sort of really starting on that spiritual and self-development journey that I was on. Actually, just it's not a journey. It's already in you. You're just getting rid of the stuff that's covering it up.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So tell us about the cacao then. Your brand is Full Power Cacao, but tell us how your introduction to cacao. Tell us a bit about that.
So I went to Guatemala for the end of the Mayan calendar. I'd kind of had my spiritual awakening, and 12 months later, I'm a vegetarian. I'm in Guatemala on a pilgrimage with a load of like healers and people who are into like multi-dimensional stuff. And I kind of felt like I was in an episode of X-Men without any superpowers. So it was just kind of going on that journey, and then I read about this place called Lake Atitlan and this place called San Marcos within that in Guatemala, and I was like, oh, that sounds like a cool place. And it was like this little Indian utopia within Guatemala where there was like healing, yoga, meditation, tantric stuff, like breath work, all these things that were like kind of the things that was turning me on at that time, like the things that I was attracted to. So I went to this little place, and it was just really magical, really like special place. Everyone I was meeting was just incredible. Like I was learning loads. The conversations that I was having were like nothing I've ever had before. Really deep, really like educational about how the world is, how the cosmos is, all these, everything, Mayan cosmology, yogic philosophy, Indian mantra, everything. And then I was just walking one day, and this kid said to me, "Oh, you should go check out the cacao shaman." I was like, "The what?" Like, the chocolate shaman. I was like, "The chocolate shaman." I went, "Mate, I'm what to kill myself. I'm here for ayahuasca." Chocolate. So basically, I went and seen the cacao shaman, realized what cacao was, that I'd been having chocolate my whole life and didn't realize that it was from the cacao tree, and that I was, unaware, which made me feel, it's one of them things. It's like, why do I not know this? Like, why do I not know that chocolate grows on a tree? How have I not been taught this in my 30 years on this planet? And then just seeing how it was used in ceremony, how it was used as a plant medicine, the history of it, how it was used in the Mayan cultures, civilizations, the Aztecs, the Incas, and just to see how it was used in ceremony. So when you drink a high dosage of it, it puts you in an altered state for between 4 and 5 hours. So it's very like healing. A lot of like suppressed emotions, suppressed traumas tend to come up and be released by crying, screaming, really letting go of stuff that you've been holding on to for a long time. And just, the spirit of cacao is wanting, the consciousness of cacao is wanting everybody to be living their life purpose. When everybody is living their life purpose, there isn't any anxiety, depression, war, murder, famine. Is just like love, abundance, and joy in all moments, because everybody, that's the thing. Once you've got your purpose, life is a breeze.
Yeah, and it's so much easier to do once you've ditched the booze, that's for sure. Just go back a bit, and for those who aren't aware, because there will be people listening to this who don't know about cacao, so just share a few of the factoids for us, will you?
So it's amazing for your cognition. It's full of flavonoids and magnesium, which are amazing for your brain. It's amazing for your heart because it gives the heart a little workout, increases the heart rate. Amazing for women because of the iron, magnesium content, which women get depleted on during the period, during perimenopausal, menopausal. So it's amazing for women, which makes it amazing for men at the same time. So it makes everybody's life easier during those periods. And it's really good for your gut health. It's amazing for stem cell regeneration. There's like loads of scientific studies done on it. It's basically coffee taps you into your sympathetic nervous system, puts you in this kind of fight and flight response, makes you a little bit anxious, a little bit jittery. It's kind of like that thing to get you through the day, like get me through the day. Whereas cacao taps you into your parasympathetic nervous system, allows you to be creative, inspired and connected to yourself, and is like floating on a cloud and being given a beautiful hug at the same time.
So just let's be clear, we're not talking about confectionery here. We're talking about, so just to explain what form it's in. I mean, lots of people will have seen cacao powder in stores, and sometimes people will see, 80-90% chocolate bars. Tell us what tell us what the difference is, and what is ceremonial grade cacao.
So there's thousands and thousands of different types of cacao, like wine, like coffee. You've got the creme de la creme, and then you've got the worst stuff, and then you've got the stuff that's been watered down, the stuff that's been diluted. Cacao confectionery chocolate that is in the shops is basically missing 99% of the active ingredients that would be in ceremonial grade cacao. Even a good bar of chocolate that you find in the shops, the supermarket, will be missing 80%. Our cacao is from Ciudad del Lago, which is Venezuela, and it's the criollo cacao. So basically, the definition of ceremonial grade cacao is a cacao that is a grade high enough to be used for ceremonial purposes. So to be used in ceremony to help people to heal, to help people to open up, to help people to release emotions, for the cacao spirit to come in, do its work on an energetic level. And it's basically cacao that is, that's the definition. You've got all these other things that come off that, which it can't really work that way if it's not organic. So it's typically organic. It's typically from the criollo tree, which is your ceremonial grade strain of cacao. But then you could grow that strain of cacao in Africa and it wouldn't be as powerful, because it's
it's about its environment as well. Yeah,
it's the environments. It's that it's got trees, companion trees around it that allow it to grow and allow it to just reach its fullest potential. So the cacao that we've got from this Ciudad del Lago region is kind of renowned globally. When I've gone into the history of it and gone into the research, it's renowned by chocolatiers all over the world as like the place on the planet that creates the greatest chocolate or the greatest cacao. So we're getting it in its rawest form, just as a paste. So ours is like broken block. When it goes into a powder, cacao powder, it loses some of its nutritional content and its potency, because every time it goes through a mechanical process, it's knocking out like some of the goodness. So ours is basically just into a paste. We work with about 2,500 family farmers who are all part of like a cooperative called Play del Mas, where the families get tools, get a fair wage, all these things. They're getting amazing wages at the moment, because actually most of the farmers are all over the world connect with the global stock market price of cacao, and it's through the roof at the minute. So there needs to be some sort of sustainable price thing in it, because obviously at the moment the farmers are getting paid a ridiculous amount of what they probably should be getting paid, which is great. But then when the stock market drops, then they're getting paid nothing. And there needs to be something in the middle that's kind of not as volatile and stable.
Yeah, it's interesting that, isn't it? Because, we've been talking in the UK for so many years, haven't we, about fair trade, fair trade farming. And I think actually if you were to ask most people, they would assume that's going on, and it's consistent. I don't think most people would realise that there's those discrepancies actually.
No, it's always what is the market value. New York basically dictates the price of all commodities all over the world.
Sounds very fair, doesn't it? Really?
Yeah. Or cacao. Well, why is the price of cacao gone up in Venezuela when nothing has changed in Venezuela? All that's changed is that Ivory Coast and Ghana have had a blight and a disease that's hit 34% of the world's cacao production, but nothing's changed in Venezuela. But the price has gone up times 5. It's not gone up slightly; it's gone up 5 times. So it's like an incredible price hike, which is amazing for the farmers. And our whole mission is we want the highest and best for everybody that's involved in every process that goes into our cacao. When you look at labels like organic, like rainforest certified, to me, like they're irrelevant, because it's like Ofsted. You don't know what's going on there after those authorities have left. Like it's really difficult. How do you keep track of 2,500 farmers? For me, it's all about the energetic frequency of the cacao that we receive every time we receive it. Yeah. And if it's staying in alignment with our principles at Full Power Cacao. Basically.
And so what's the best way for someone to use your cacao? Because obviously, as you say, we can I know you host cacao ceremonies, and that's something that's, it would be fantastic for everyone to rock up to. But we can also just drink it, right? We can just have a fabulous drink of it.
You can bathe with it, you can snort it, you can put it.
I tell you what, you can make a fantastic face mask.
Yeah, you can. Yeah,
it's really good for your skin.
Amazing. Well, that's what happens to cacao when it gets separated into the butter.
Yeah.
That mainly goes into the confectionery and the cosmetics industry, so your cream, everything like that. But yeah, you just buy a packet of it, put a tablespoon in a pan with a little bit of oat milk or water, make it as you would like a roux. You make a nice smooth paste at the bottom. Otherwise, if you put all your liquid in, you'll never get it to melt properly and it'll be bitty. So it's getting it nice and smooth. Add the rest of your plant milk or water, and then have a look on the website, see what recipes like. Set your taste buds.
Yeah, sure. I mean,
alive.
You can get fancy, can't you? Add a bit of chili or something.
Experiment. Be creative. Orange and chili's amazing. Chili activates the cacao in your system a little bit quicker when you're doing a ceremonial dose as well. But yeah, a daily dose in the morning to replace your coffee and still get the stimulation. And so we've had thousands and thousands of emails just saying, "Oh my God, I can't believe I wasn't expecting it to be able to replace my coffee." Yeah. And I'm done with coffee because I feel good. I don't feel like I've got this spike and this drop and this jitteriness. I just feel like on a nice smooth, because you're still getting stimulated.
Sure. So on that note, then we shouldn't really have it late at night because it's not going to be good to help you sleep. I don't have it late at night. No.
Never have a ceremonial dose late at night.
No.
However, some people who have trained with me, they will have 10-15 grams before they go to bed.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah. And they sleep fine. They say it helps them with their sleep. So it just, everybody's different. Everybody's body's different. So it's just like, my thing is, don't drink it before you go to bed. But if you want to try it, you know.
And are there any contraindications? Is there anybody you shouldn't drink cacao?
Contraindications? All the contraindications have been contradicted.
Yeah, I bet they have.
By people that I've worked with, that people have worked with me. When someone comes to a cacao ceremony, they're pregnant, they're supposed to only have half a dose. But I've had 3 or 4 people who've been coming to my ceremonies all the way through pregnancy and had full doses and then had more. And I'm like, whoa. And they're like, no, I'm good. And the babies are fine. They're fine.
Yeah.
Because it's just stimulating you. It's stimulating your heart rate. You know what I mean? So it's, I always just, my guides are like half a dose. It can be funny with some antidepressants, but if you're just drinking 10 grams, it's not really going to mess with that. It's because it's basically the MIOB inhibitors that kind of counteract within the cacao that can, make you nauseous and sort of not interact very well with the antidepressants. But I always say to people, you're not supposed to be on antidepressants.
No, well, exactly.
Get off the antidepressants, start drinking cacao. Cacao is a natural antidepressant. It's a natural mood enhancer.
Yeah.
That's it's the only food in the world that contains anandamide, which ananda is a Sanskrit word that means bliss. So anandamide is the bliss molecule. There's no other food on the planet that contains it. Wow. It helps to reduce manageable amounts of serotonin, dopamine, phenethylamine. These are all the love hormones, the chemicals that you feel when you're falling in love, or you've fallen in love, or you have love for somebody when you see them. So they're all being released. Not, when you take drugs, they get released and they get depleted. When you take cacao, it's just a nice little vibe that you're getting off them.
Yeah. And, as you say, it's really interesting. I've found it very interesting since I've been coaching that the amount of people who are on antidepressants and still drinking, by the way, never asked about their drinking when they're given the antidepressants.
It's an oxymoron, isn't it?
Yeah, literally. And it's very interesting because if they push through, if they stop drinking, I've seen it happen so many times that they've made the decision, you know what, I am going to go back and ask about this. I am going to come off the antidepressants or take them down, because they're recognizing that it's keeping them flat. There's something going on. And often when you chat to those people and ask them, why did you go on antidepressants in the first place? I don't think I've ever had anyone say to me, I have an illness, I'm clinically depressed, I'm this, I'm that. They just say, well, it was when such and such happened at my kid's school, or when I had an issue with my relationship. In other words, it's called life, right?
It's called that,
And I'm not a medic, so if anyone listening thinks I'm telling you to come off your antidepressants, I'm absolutely not. I'm saying you can
unless you're
say
clinically depressed.
Well,
I'm
exactly.
telling you to come off them.
Well, I just think there needs to be much more joined up thinking, right? There really does, and particularly women rocking up to GPs with menopausal symptoms, mood swings, anxiety, and being told, right, here's some HRT and here's some antidepressants, and never being asked what they're drinking. And a lot of these women are going home and having a bottle of wine a night.
Exactly.
I mean, what on earth is going on there?
Yeah, because I'm not a medical professional, but if somebody was working with me, like probably with yourself, and it was like I was coaching them, or they wanted to, they're trying to evolve, or they start working with cacao, and I'm like, drink this every day. And then they were drinking.
Exactly.
And I'd be like, you need to stop drinking,
exactly.
or I am not working with you. Yeah. I'm not giving you this as a medicine if you're then counteracting it. It's like drinking cacao with cow's milk. It's like going to the gym, doing a 2-hour session, then coming out of it, having a fried up breakfast and 5 pints of lager. There was no point. Do you know what I mean? It's defeating the object because cacao's clearing the capillaries and the arteries around the heart, and cow's milk's clogging it. And like you were saying about my thing with depression is a beautiful gift that we are given that tells us that life is out of balance and out of harmony. It's telling us to start doing some work, to look at ourselves, to look at the relationships, the people in our life that are not serving our highest good. Yeah. So without depression, you wouldn't be getting to that point of consciousness to go, that's not serving me. That's not serving me. Depression was the greatest gift that I was ever given.
Yeah. I think you're absolutely right. And the whole piece, it's interesting what you're talking about, the brain chemistry, because, again, when people stop drinking, they can sometimes not feel great to start with, understandably, because their brain chemistry is so out of whack. And really what we need then is really good nutrition and cacao, right? To put that back. Because if we, we still need some dopamine and some serotonin. We just need it in a healthy way, right? So that's why that kind of thing is just so amazing, and also, when we stop drinking, we want something nice, don't we? Right? We want something nice. We still want something in a nice mug or a nice glass.
You've got to spend your income. You've been spending half of it on alcohol. Like, well, you've got to spend your income on now. Like, that's what I say to people. They're like, "Oh, I'm struggling at the moment." I'm like, "Well, stop drinking, stop smoking,
exactly,
and stop spending your money on crap that you don't need. Spend it on organic. Organic food's expensive. Oh, but you went out at the weekend.
Yeah, exactly." Exactly that. So tell us a little bit about the work that you're doing now then, Liam, because obviously you sell the cacao. And are you still doing cacao ceremonies? Do you still do that?
Yeah, cacao ceremonies is my biggest pleasure.
And where is that? Is that in Manchester?
Well, they're all over the place. I've just come off tour. I was on tour in March, so I'll go all over the UK once a year. We was in Cornwall,
amazing.
Norwich, Tunbridge Wells, Newcastle, Leeds, Manchester, and I think there was Cardigan in Wales, a couple of other places, which was incredible. But obviously, because the business has it's just gone crazy. I'm just trying to hold on at the moment and go through this journey with this business, because I've never done business before, so I'm just constantly.
So what actually happened with the Dragon's Den deal? Because you got an incredible response, didn't you? Gary Neville really loved it, didn't he? I think they loved the fact that you were completely down to earth and relatable, and Manchester kid.
Yeah, Gary's been tremendous. Really, really supportive, helpful. Lets us use his hotels in Manchester for meetings and stuff, which is
brilliant,
really beautiful. Gets it. His missus really gets it. And it's just been kind of since the episode went live, it's kind of been a whirlwind, and we're just constantly expanding. If anybody sort of wants to question what I'm doing, it's go back onto my Instagram, look at the pinned thing at the top of the page when we launched Full Power Cacao, and I said, look, the mission given to me by the cacao shaman. Well, he didn't really give it to me personally, but he said cacao's going to take over from coffee by 2032. And he said, you guys are the people that are going to take it out in the world and make it actually happen. He said, I'm just the person who starts this ball rolling. He said, I'm this first wave of spiritual teachers, and you guys are going to be the second wave, a lot of people that come to him. So for me, it was when I started it, it was I felt that was this thing that was pushing me to It's like I said, I'm not ashamed of it. I'm not ashamed to say that I've done a lot of work on abundance and wealth because I'm from poverty consciousness. So I just shifted my consciousness with it, and it's been an incredible journey. And in the spiritual and hippie community, talking about money is like poo-pooed down, and it's like it's an essential thing for us to all operate with.
Totally. I
The
mean,
more
we
you
need
have, the more of it
the
you have doesn't mean you're taking it from anyone
exactly.
else.
The more you have, the more you can give away. It's energy, isn't it?
The
It
more
has
you
to
can give
flow.
away, and the more you can teach
Yeah,
other
I love
people
that.
to also step into
Totally.
their
That was
abundance.
a massive thing for me when I first started doing it, working, as a business in inverted commas years ago. And I've had such a massive, kind of turnaround with all that. And now with the work that I do, training coaches, it's one of the kind of main modules of the work that we do is helping people recognize you can be a heart-centered business and you can absolutely, allow money to be in the energy of money. And that's a fantastically good thing. It really is.
And that's all it is. It's just an energy.
It
And it's
is
just
energy.
basically, it's just numbers on a screen that you push around. And from where I've come from the numbers that I was pushing around a year ago, 3 years ago, to the numbers that I'm pushing around now, it's every time them numbers have an extra naught on the end, you're like, huh? But then you just go, actually, why don't I deserve this? Why is the people in the world that can be a billionaire? Why can't I be a billionaire? What's the difference? What are they doing differently than I am? Yeah, they might have been born in a different situation, but there's also lots of self-made billionaires. Why can't I be a billionaire that comes from the heart? Oh,
Yeah.
because you're taking to no. There's abundance is the only
Yeah.
one true constant of the universe.
Well, I'm
Ever
guessing
evolving
the difference
abundance.
is you can do absolutely wonderful things with it and will.
Yeah. And that's
So
the
it'll be a
intention. If
ripple
people,
effect, won't it?
if people go and look at that video, it's like, we're going to take Cacao to another level. We're going to smash it out of the park in the scene, but that's going to be not detrimental to any cacao businesses. That's going to raise the level, the awareness of cacao so high all over the world. Like, from that night that episode dropped, it went from 1,000 searches a day for cacao on Amazon in the UK to 20,000 a day. In
Wow,
the
did it
USA, it
really?
went from
Isn't that
208.
amazing?
In the US, it went from 280,000 to
Wow.
350,000. I went, how do you know that? They went, here's the dates. That's when you went
Wow, the
on and look at
power
the
of the
site.
telly, eh?
And I was
That's
like,
brilliant.
wow. And that, to have, and it's had an impact
That's
globally
amazing.
on
I
the
think it's just
awareness of
because, you
consciousness.
came over as so completely authentic and, people love that. They do. And it makes such a difference. I mean, there's a ton of products and things out there, but when you've got somebody, who really is authentic, then, it really counts.
Thank you.
So, yeah, it was
Appreciate
amazing.
that.
That's so brilliant. Well done, Liam. It's just so exciting, isn't it? It's
Nice one.
amazing. So, yeah, give
Yeah.
us your website then, or wherever you'd like people
And
to look at it and buy it.
yeah, so the cacao is www.fullpowercacao.com. We're at Full Power Cacao on all the socials.
Thanks so much. It's been really great to chat to
Thank
you. I
you,
really appreciate it. And all the
darling. Yeah.
best. Look forward to
Yeah, you
seeing it
too.
grow even bigger.
Lots of love.
Cheers.
Take care.
Thank you, Liam. So we'll looking forward to seeing you at the Wellness Way Festival. I'll put the link in the show notes. As I mentioned before, I'm speaking on Saturday the 9th on how to rock an alcohol-free lifestyle, but I'll no doubt be talking about all things holistic living. You can get 15% off your tickets by going to the website and then typing in the code Jamie Lee Grace 15, and that's in capital letters. But I'll pop it down. Another reminder that if you're interested in sober coach training, drop me a message because I've got the last few places for our October training. So if a little bit inside you is saying, oh, I want a new purpose, then don't forget, even if you haven't been sober a year, it doesn't matter. It's an amazing way of laying the foundations for your own sobriety. It really is. And check out the stuff that I'm doing with the Platinum Awards as well. We've got some great competitions over on my Imperfectly Natural site. Chance to win organic skincare, some amazing supplements, some really beautiful flower essences, and a chance to win some Naughty AF because they're involved in the awards too. So there's a whole load of stuff there. I'll put it on the show notes for you. Don't forget what I said right at the beginning of this podcast. If you're doing this hard thing, you need to get connected. I've just remembered as well. I'm speaking at Latitude, of course. I'm part of a panel, I should say, on the Zen stage with Mandy Manners and Carl Considine, I think, is part of it. Richard Piper from Alcohol Change UK. So that's going to be great. So that's the Latitude Festival if you happen to be heading off there on Saturday, 26th of July. So there's lots going on. Stay connected. Don't do this by yourself. If you've got nobody else to message, if you don't want to join us in the Sober Club, that's okay. Just drop me a message and I'll hold the vision for you. I promise I'll respond if I get your message. Can't say fairer than that. Have a great week. Thank you for listening to the Alcohol Free Life podcast, brought to you by the Sober Club. Please rate and review. And if you want support, accountability and inspiration, and you want to live your best life without the booze, check out thesoberclub.com.